Well, as you can see, I'm a little older than a typical seminarian. I like to think of this as my second life. I was a public school teacher for many, many years, and even an administrator for a couple of years. I had been thinking about the priesthood off and on for probably a decade, and just gradually I came to the conclusion that, the reason I kept thinking about it was because the Holy Spirit was working on me, and that I had to take the jump, so to speak, and at least come to seminary and see if this call is real and if the Lord really does want me to do His work for the rest of my life. And so far, I have not found any indication otherwise, after having completed only one semester so far. It was universally positive. Everybody who knows me, from my relatives to my close friends, when I told them, they said, well, that makes sense. I can see that. And so I saw that as another indication that perhaps this was truly something that I should do. I have not received any negative comments from anybody. My parents were overjoyed. My siblings were joyful. My friends, they think it's wonderful. And so that's a great encouragement to me. I think my strength comes to some extent with my age and my experiences I've had in life. I feel like I adapt well, and coming here to seminary has been a challenge. I've been used to living on my own in apartments most of my life and being a bachelor, and now I'm living in a community, and I have to be a part of that community and assist in everything that goes on in that community, and which of course is what a priest does as well. So I think I've adapted well, and I think that my background has prepared me well for this. I mean, I'm used to dealing with people. I'm used to standing in front of groups of people and talking, mainly teenagers that I've taught most of my life, and I've coached some. So I don't know, I just feel like my background has prepared me for this time in my life. I think it's not necessarily that I want to be a priest, it's does God want me to be a priest? Does the Catholic Church want me to be a priest? And that's what I'm here to find out. I feel that the things that priests do that I could be good at, I believe I could be. I think there's certain ways that it relates to teaching. As a priest, you're somewhat of a teacher as well. You work with people. You work with people from wide backgrounds, and I just feel like this is something that the Lord will let me know in due time. I mean, that's why the discernment process is so long. But I feel that there's a lot to learn, and I will be the first to admit I have a lot to learn about what it means to be a Catholic priest and all the implications therein. I feel that I'm up for the challenge, though, and it is a challenge. I mean, I feel I've adapted well so far. I am one of the oldest men here, but I'm not the oldest, and there's several that are in my age range. And we all have different stories. And being around the younger guys is great too, because they have their stories, and I'm very impressed with the young men that are here as well. They're a great bunch of guys. And, I think I've kind of wandered off your question there. I'm looking forward to getting out in the community more and actually starting to get a sense of the nuts and bolts of being a priest. I've already started that to some extent. I've been assigned this semester to work at the Jefferson Parish Correctional Center in Gretna. So I've been over there 3 times already. I'll be going again tomorrow, and just interacting with any of the inmates who are interested in talking. And it's been very gratifying so far, because many of the men have already just come up to me and asked me to pray for specific things with them. And it's very humbling to think that you're actually leading a man in prayer who's requested it. You know, I haven't imposed myself on them. They've come to me and requested it. And I just say it's very humbling. It's, you know, and I think about all the good fortune I've had in my life, and that many of these men who are incarcerated have just had a few bad breaks here and there, made a few bad decisions. Otherwise, we're all the same. We're all human beings, and you know, there but for the grace of God go I. So I try to give them all the love I can, and I try to bring them things to read and just help answer any questions they have. So that's a wonderful thing that that's a great opportunity to be able to speak to those men, and I hope to maybe make that more of a sort of a permanent aspect of my priesthood, to always visit prisoners. I mean, that's one of the things that Jesus calls his followers to do, to remember prisoners and widows and other people in bad fortune. Well, I would just say to anybody out there that might be contemplating the priesthood that, you know, just be open to that call, and it may not be like a bolt of lightning. It might just be kind of a subtle, gentle whisper in your ear, and it might go on for years. I know there are young men here who have known that they want to come to seminary since they were in high school or maybe even younger, and that's wonderful. But it's not going to be that way for everybody, and it certainly wasn't that way for me. So be open to the call, and as with most things in life, if you'll take a leap of faith and you just kind of give it a shot, you never know what might come of it. And as I sit here today, I don't know for sure that I will be a priest someday, but I know I'll always know that I at least answered the call that I felt was a sincere call, and I felt that I needed to respond in some way. I didn't want to become a 65 or 70-year-old man who wondered what might have been. I wanted to at least look into it, and one thing led to another, and now I'm here, and I'm actually a student at the seminary, and it's been great so far.